anyone who was with us back in 2022 when we sailed across the Bay of Biscay, or in Porto when we found ourselves anchored in the Douro River, well, there's a few things that didn't make it onto camera. The first, when we were halfway across the Bay of Biscay, our navigation app decided to uninstall all of our charts, and on all of our devices, leading us to have to sail 15 miles offshore and use 3G to fire up the new charts. Reckless at best, dangerous at worst. Or the time we followed a boat out the breakwater in Porto because they had radar and there was thick fog, which led to them recognising us in the Caribbean as that boat that used them for radar. Pretty funny, but also pretty annoying, as we like to be self-sufficient out here where we can. Anyway, both these stories ended well, but throughout the last few years we have learnt the importance of both having redundancy on board and solid systems which won't fail when you need them most. With all that in mind, the next upgrade we are giving our 1985 sailboat won't come as much a surprise to anyone.
We've made it here. However, we have dreamt about adding a chart plotter to Tay-Lee since pretty much the moment we got on her, and well, I'm just not going to say anything else. I'm just going to show you the table right now. You've only gone and bloody done it.
Starting with our new Axiom Pro 2S, this is going to be the kind of main heart of the whole system. We've got a dual touchscreen and one with knobs and buttons on it, because when we're outside the touchscreens can get a little bit funky when they get a bit wet, so now that we've got something like this we can actually use our navigation equipment outside, because when we were using it on our phones, whenever it got rain on it, it was a nightmare to use. It would turn it off and they would run out of power and loads of other things. So now we've got this absolute beaut. This is the 9-inch, but I think it's going to be plenty big enough for what we need, because it's going to be like probably about that distance away, isn't it, when we're using it? So.
And we're a relatively small boat, so we didn't want to go for some crazy big screen in the cockpit, so we went for the Paquito size. Accompanying the chart plotter is this absolutely awesome pod from Scanstrut. Obviously some people countersink their chart plotters in. We wanted it right in front of the helm, just so when you're helming it's right there. And Scanstrut, I mean, they're just the top of the game for boat gear in general. I mean, it came with this super heavy duty mount. I mean, it's like a work of art, this thing. So that will be mounted like that, and what this will mean is it can just go onto our pre-existing helm mount, and we can pivot it on that too, which is super nice for anyone in the cockpit sitting in different positions. So that's a really nice feature, and we're so excited to hopefully cut and install that this morning.
The elephant in the room is our Doppler radar system we've got here. So the Doppler means that it can actually track items that are around you, and we can have proximity alarms on this and loads of other cool things. So night sailing when we cross to Hawaii and up through Mexico and everywhere else, and when we're in fog, is going to be night and day difference. Actually having a bit of equipment on board which can tell you when something's getting too close, or yeah, anything like that. It doesn't just rely on AIS on board your boat now, so we've actually got this to complete the whole system.
Across the Atlantic we were stuck in a squall line for days, and there was a boat 100 miles away from us who had radar, and they didn't have one squall. They managed to dodge them, yet we had, what, 11 back-to-back squalls, and you know, from a satellite view you could probably see a way out, but we couldn't see a way out through the thick clouds. So hopefully with this we can either see the squalls to be able to avoid them, or we at least have a heads up that they're coming and to know how much to reef the sails by, which is game changing.
Moving on, we've got this brand new wind sensor which is actually wireless, so it means we don't have to run a new wire up the mast. And I think a lot of people would have seen before that when we heel over at the moment with our current wind sensor, the bearing in it has seen better days, I think, and it actually jams up, and it means when we've got the wind on our beam and the boat's a little bit heeled over, it just stops altogether and stops working. There's a few things wrong with it, and we've been wanting to get a new one for a while, and we finally got this brand new wireless one which we can't wait to use. But it actually has got a little battery in it and works off solar panels on there, and it goes down and talks to this micro talk.
We also bought a Raymarine i70S screen to display the wind, and these you can set loads of different displays on. You can show the depth, the wind, you can show autopilot, you can do a GPS on these. all sorts. I'm pretty sure you can do an anchor alarm. These are really cool. They're like mini tablets, which, yeah, you can just drag and drop different widgets on.
We're also going to have one of these mounted in here somewhere. I'm not too sure where at the moment, just so when we're inside and it's bad weather outside, we can actually still tell the wind speed without having to go out in the cockpit. And the last thing that we've got is our intelligent transducer, which has got a little paddle wheel here which can tell our speed through water, which is going to be really nice actually being able to tell that. It's got a depth sounder in here, and it can also tell temperature as well, so that'd be really nice to have that luxury of being able to tell how warm the water is before you get in.
Honestly, that is insane. So yeah, this is going to be a huge install, but we're just so excited to start installing, to the point where we actually have a few other projects halfway done and we just can't wait to install this, so we're just going to hop straight to this.
After a lot of sanding and grinding back, I've got it to a shape which I'm pretty happy with now, so I'm going to see if it's going to fit.
Look at that. Wow.
It's like it was made for it.
Well, it was. Oh my gosh.
Lovely.
Wow.
Lovely. Ta-da! There we go. So we were worried this was going to be a bit high for Becca, but we've just found out something that we didn't know this whole pod could do. So we obviously knew they had this lower bracket down here that loosens. We knew it could go like that, but we didn't know the whole thing could also go like that. And it was like that, but we're actually going to have it, I think, sitting there in the central position still. And now we're just going to loosen these bolts off and tilt the whole thing back a little bit more, just to give Becca a bit more clearance, I think.
It's so nice that it's got that extra level of customization.
Yeah.
It looks already so much better, that height.
It does.
The install has a bit of a structure to it, so before we can wire up this bad boy, let's get to pulling out the old instruments.
Behind me, in this kind of headlining space here, we've got all of our old NASA wind instruments, and despite their name, they're actually not that advanced. They're pretty old and don't really work that well, so I'm going to be taking out the 4 old ones from there. We've had 4 displays up there, but then we haven't had a chart plotter, so we kind of needed more information, but we're streamlining everything now. These are all the bits that we're going to have to fill now. Ready?
Yep. Bloody hell, Zach! That's so nice.
It was a perfect fit, but obviously we now had 4 holes we needed to fill, one of which was that random vent, which led to nothing and often leaked. So, whilst we were taking the time to fiberglass in the other holes, we decided to also do this one.
When a rainstorm is incoming and it's dark outside, so we can no longer work outside, we're coming in here and continuing the Raymarine project, starting with the inside location for the I-70 screen. I'm not gonna lie, we're doing a bit of a bodge job here. It's more of a stop gap to get us through to a place where we can get some gorgeous hardwood. We want to spend a long time getting this really nice at some point. And as you can see, it's already got holes, it's got different wood.
We want to take out both of these panels here and replace them, which, yeah, it wouldn't be a massive job, but all the wiring here and everything that's going on behind here makes it a lot more complicated, so...
For now, we're just going to install it, and it's going to look a bit out of sorts, but everything here looks a bit out of sorts, so we're just going to roll with it.
Oh.
What? Oh, poop.
That's alright, it was still screwed down, you won't see that. That's so annoying, why did it do that? That's ridiculous, just brittle plastic.
No, Zach.
It's like it was always there.
So I'm having that matching up with that, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks like crap either way. I don't know why I'm aiming to be accurate, but whatever.
Yeah?
Yeah, darling. See the grammar bill.
Oh, we're going to do that now?
Yeah, we have to.
The next thing that's on my list to install is this, which is the EV1. It's the heading sensor for all of our instruments. When we eventually upgrade our autopilot with a new Raymarine thing, which we weren't going to do at the moment because we spent a lot of the summer on a load of other upgrades, and we've also got the Hydrovane, but this EV1 basically relays the boat's kind of pitch, roll, position and heading to the chart plotter. It's kind of hard to figure out where to put this because it needs to be on a level surface, which is fine. This arrow here needs to be pointing forwards, which is also fine, but it needs to be far away from all other electrical wires. It needs to be a meter to be exact, and it's kind of hard to figure out where to put it because I need it near one of the backbones. This is where all of the wires run into, and it's called the backbone, and the backbones connect together by the blue ones, and all the white ones are where the actual instruments go into, and one of them is going to be mounted in here. The depth sounder is also going to go to this one, and I need the EV1 sensor to be close to this one as well because the other ones have all pretty much been taken up by other things. So the best place that I can put it, which is away from other wires, is in here. This is our pilot berth, and I think I'm going to mount it at the back wall there because there's minimal electronics around there. Happy with the location of the EV1 sensor, we moved on to taking our old wind sensor down, which meant a trip up the mast for me. So I've just got down off the mast, and this is our old, I don't know how old, wind instrument. It could be almost as old as the boat. It's seen better days, some rust stains on it. The bearing in here is very much broken. But we want to ideally be able to use this pole on this, because if we didn't, we'd have to go up there with tools and drills, and yeah, it would just be a lot more hassle to be able to do it. But it looks like this pole is almost the same as this, so what I need to do is get this head off, take the wires out, and see. Oh yeah, that'll go.
Look at the size difference between the two. So much smaller.
So I need to get this off now. Wait a minute. Oh god. It's almost there. I could probably bend the pole enough to get it to where I want it. I've got to really concentrate though, because I don't want to go too far. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that looks pretty good to me.
Okay, sweet.
Nice one, Zach.
That.
Yeah, sweet.
I think if the wind manages to bend this pole with that on it, we've got bigger issues. So
I think so.
it still feels super solid. all of my weight and feet power on it. This project has to be put on pause for a little bit because we actually need to have this within 12 inches of the micro torque that we've got with the system before I put it up the masthead, and I don't want to have to put it up there and take it back down because I'm already going to drop it anyway. So we'll wait for a little bit for this, and I think what I'm going to do now is start on the radar, because before we get the chart plotter working and the micro torque working, get it all hooked up, we need to run the radar, because I need to run the wires with that at the same time as running the wires for the chart plotter, if that makes sense. There's an order to things. I need to do things to make my life a lot easier. So yeah, next thing on the list is finally mounting the radar, which can be pretty cool. This is Becca's wardrobe, for those who remember from, where did I do this, Porto?
Yeah.
Where I cleaned this and repainted this in here because it was horrible in here before we started. And this here is our current coaxial cable, which goes to a wire gland inside our mizzen. And what we're going to have to do is basically drill up next to it and make a new hole. So
This is our redundant VHF, which is on our mizzen, so
Yeah.
we don't want to touch that cable at all.
And after we've drilled this, we're going to line the hole with epoxy, so if we do get any water in it, it doesn't damage anything in there, and then we'll fill it with Sikaflex as well. So it'll basically be a wire gland, but a bit of a homemade one.
Upside down homemade one.
Yeah, so yeah, this is going to be a bit of a job. So I'm going to try and come out just in front of that big hole, basically.
Yeah, so that's in our mizzen, and that's the hole we added with the wire gland.
And at some point when we're in a place next year when we can de-step the mizzen, we're going to de-step it and do this all properly, because I would love to have like a decent cable gland going through there and everything and actually have it properly done. But this, people do this all the time anyway for this kind of thing, so. There is now a hole.
Okay, I'm going in.
I can't believe you can get in there.
And I can't even bend my knee much, so that's quite saying
That's
something.
your new hidey hole. Up, up, up. Wait, let me just drop it again.
I've got it! I've got it! Woo! Yeah! Woo!
We finally managed to, after probably an hour, get this cable all the way down and into there, if you can see it at the end. And now what we're going to do is we're going to have to remove this old thing here because this mount doesn't fit the new one, so we're going to take it down and get a new one fabricated up. And just we'll keep this kind of hole set up though, because this thing feels pretty sturdy. It's in here with 3 rivets and 2 through bolts on either side, so it's pretty bomb proof, this thing. Off. Yeah, look. More cabling time.
It's almost there. Have I got it or have I got the tape? Well, I got the tape. Yeah, now straight. No, okay, up a bit. Okay, up.
Wiring on a boat is always fun, but once we had wiggled our way through what felt like every corner and cranny on our boat, we found ourselves conveniently on the hard, which meant it was the perfect time to start the next install.
I'm currently down in our galley, and underneath me here is our old depth sounder. First things first, I need to get it out of here. Oh, it's in oil. Oh. Oh dear. Oh gosh. Is that it?
This is the old hole for our depth sounder.
That's our old hole.
We think.
There must have been. There must have been an old depth sounder. I didn't realise
Surely this one was original.
That's definitely another depth sounder hole. Look at it. They've done a good job fairing it. I don't know why they didn't fair that last bit.
Unless they went to drill it there, realised that wouldn't work for some reason, and then put it there.
Maybe.
Just call me centre marker. Oh!
I can't see you. Oh, there you are. Hey.
Hello.
Devil finger. Washer. Nut. Okay, that fits great.
Yeah?
Twist, twist. Let me just tighten it hand tight. Happy with that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's as tight as I can get it by hand. This morning I am installing the rest of the depth sounder, which is very exciting. I've highlighted all the things I need to do. So I need to inspect the O-rings on the insert to make sure they're all good, and then I need to lubricate them with this little silicone dielectric compound right here that's provided, and then I need to just tether it to. It all looks really nicely sealed, which is good. This I'm going to paint at a later date, but fundamentally this is in really well. That's all done. I've spliced it too. Job well done. We went back in the water this morning and it was such a success. The depth sounder hasn't leaked and it seems to be accurate and it's all great. We actually have just had a really exciting package delivered as well. We've been waiting for this wire, which is a slightly thicker wire for our chart plotter power, for about a week and a half now, and it's finally arrived, so we are going to go full steam ahead into installing our chart plotter.
Our Scanstrut pod is actually right above me here by the helm position at the moment, and to get all the wires that we need to run through to here, we've got 3 wires, is that right?
Yeah.
We've got the 12 volt power, we've got the radar data cable, which we don't need but we're running anyway because it'd be nice to have a solid connection, and we've also got the backbone Sea-Talk cable as well. So there are 3 cables. The radar one's the biggest one by a long way, but I think we should be fine running it through here. But the plan is we're going to drill with this perfectly fitting drill bit a hole through here. On the corresponding side here, we've actually got all of our Morses and windlass stuff running through. If you haven't seen that video, we'll leave a link when we did all the stuff for this as well. But yeah, the best way for us to be able to run the cables discreetly here is going to be going through the opposite ways. It does involve drilling quite a big hole here, but it means that we can have a chart plotter outside and all the wires be tucked away and nice. So this is the best way we can think of doing it.
And there's nothing below it?
No. Is that through?
Yeah. It's a really nice hole. Okay, I'm ready. Back a bit, back a bit, back a bit. Stop, back a bit. Forwards a bit. last night didn't quite go to plan. We were asleep when at midnight I woke up to our bed just flooding. We had water just pouring in through our helm. And I was like, Zach, what the heck is happening? We woke up and essentially where we drilled the hole, we had plugged it up and we had plugged, we had taped the whole area, the whole pole where the wires were going through, so it couldn't have been coming in through there. And what had happened is the dust that had come and the wood choppings that had come from us drilling those holes had blocked our cockpit drains, and so half the cockpit well was filled up, and that's how it ended up getting into the pipe and flooding our bed. So we had that to deal with at midnight, running out and unclogging the drains. But it's okay, and we've got the dehumidifier running, and hopefully the boat will dry out. I mean, our whole bed is soaking, so it won't take long in the heat to dry out, but we're going to have to wait to Sikaflex that. Obviously, we don't want to Sikaflex in damp teak deck. But there's things we can do in the meantime. We can still run the wires, we just have to wait until it's fully dry to be able to seal from this end. And yeah, we'll just continue the installation as normal, but it's funny. There's things that in boat life that you just could never predict would happen, and then they do, but it's fine. You just roll with the punches. And today we are so excited to actually get the chart plotter installation done. There's a bit of a funny story about the radar mount, but I'll let Zach tell that story later. We actually picked it up from the welders yesterday, and I love it, but Zach's not so keen. But yeah, I'll let him tell the story about that later. For now, I think we'll go out and see what we're working with the wires.
There's so much rain last night. It was insane. This was literally full up to like here. Which is crazy, because this would normally be waterproof once we seeked it, but it went over this bit here, which wasn't, and so it just kept pouring in. Oh well, at least it's just teak wood there, and no like cord balsa underneath it or anything, so it didn't really damage anything. Just need to let the teak dry before we do anything with it.
Our new depth sensor works really well, and it also has a temperature sensor, and yesterday the water was 31.2 degrees, and the rain has cooled it down 3 whole degrees, which is crazy. We've still got to install our wind, but loving this screen so far. There's our depth there. This is the one we've set up, so we'll have our wind speed here, our depth here below the keel, and then our speed is here, and that's like a really nice screen. But yeah, we can customize all sorts. We're gonna just have our speed, just have our depth, have our heading and our speed, depth, speed. It's really nice. You can change all these as well. Okay, wait, slow, back a bit. Back a bit, wait, back a bit more. Oh, there you go. Yay. That's all run out there. All we want to do is add some wire chafe protection in both the helm and the pod, but we're just going to do that in the form of Sikaflex in a bit. But now we've got to run all the wires back to the control panel, which is where our chart plotter flick switch is on. We have run the radar data cable, the sea-talk cable and the power to the chart plotter into this pod. And now this is the actual cable which is off the chart plotter. This has a 15 amp fuse in it, and this is the positive, we have the negative. We have a ground, but you only have to run that if there's interference with other items in your cockpit or area for the touchscreen. And then we also have a few cables which we're not going to use at the moment. One's like a sound, one's an HDMI, things like that, but we've just taped those for now. We're hoping this can all go in the back there, and then we can plug it in. So for now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to crimp the positive and negative onto this one, add some heat shrink. We've just put a little peg there to stop them from falling down, and then we'll get the whole screen in and bolted, which is exciting. We added this little conduit. We've taken it about an inch down here and an inch up here, and we will still put a little bit of Sikaflex around both just to make sure that no drips can get in, but we're really happy that that is adequate chafe protection for the wires, and it also makes it look quite nice, just a little white bit there. And now here's the big moment of truth. We're going to plug this in and then go inside and turn it on the control panel inside. We just turned it on at the instruments bit and it's springing to life for the very first time. Ooh, powered by Lighthouse 4. It's like Christmas. That is all working really well. We're going to put the screws in. As you can imagine, from such a big installation, we've had a load of different screws, and it's really nice that a company puts their company name, or the product at least, on each packet. So this one says Scan Pod Compact, Pod Front to Back Compact, and it says quantity 1, and that's really nice when you're working with different brands and you want to have everything have the correct screws.
This is our old radar mount, and we thought that it would initially fit, but turns out it doesn't fit. So we had to take this down, use the stencil that Ray Marine provided with the kit, and go to the local metal shop here to get one cut out. And we're expecting it to be kind of like nice smooth corners like this, and kind of like a
Smooth corners?
Smooth, yeah,
Edges.
Smooth corners like that, and nice edges, and yeah, whatever. But this is what we ended up getting, and this is a lot better from yesterday because I actually ended up polishing this up a lot. But if you look at some of the corners there, they're not fantastic, but they are a lot better now after what I did yesterday. But they still need a little bit of love. But as it is going to be radar dish and you're not really going to see this at all, we're just going to go with this for now. But it's pretty much the same kind of thickness aluminium, which is nice, so it should kind of blend in there quite well. And once it aged a little bit, it will match the rest of it. So yeah, we're going to drill a few holes in this. I'm going to go up and get this mounted, and then we're going to get the radar up there finally.
When we picked it up yesterday in the car, Zach was just scoffing at the dents and chips out of it. I think it adds proper character to it. I really like the wavy edge. I think it's pretty hilarious, and it adds character to an already characterful boat. But yeah, let's get some holes drilled.
So I just need 4 stubby bolts basically, of a similar diameter. All right, Becca, can I have the plate? Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's got a first bolt in. Okay, I need to secure all the bolts in properly, but I'm almost there. Okay, platform is secured. Yeah, looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, solid.
Now for the radar.
Start pulling the blue line slowly. Yeah, okay. You happy to do that? Is the blue line attached up there?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Yeah. Just get that orange line on you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tie off up here. Okay, that's attached now. Okay, it's rested on top. Okay, I'm gonna get one bolt in. Okay, so both the power cable and the data cable are now plugged in. It's looking pretty good so far. Well, that's good.
I know, it's crazy. We've got radar.
Yeah.
Nice one. Good job. Look at that. It looks like it's always been there. We did it.